Hello, I'm creating this video just to hopefully help at least one person understand how to browse a little bit more privately on the web. This specific example, I'm using Linux. I'm also using Iceweasel. This can be done with Firefox. Iceweasel is essentially Firefox. So basically this is a tutorial for Firefox and does not apply specifically to Linux, even though I'm using Linux. So, to start off, I'm going to disable all of my add-ons and browse the web without my privacy add-ons. First place I'm going to go is my favorite. I do have to restart the browser first, sorry. But the first place I'm going to go is my favorite sleazy website, the Pirate Bay. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I only use the Pirate Bay for completely legal downloads. Now let me enunciate a little bit more clearly. Completely legal downloads. Debian is what I'm going to search for today. Immediately you're going to see these banner ads populate, and something a little bit more sketchy is the clickjacking. You click within the browser and it's going to redirect you to a website that wants you to install a false version of a Flash update. Now hopefully, I think everybody's going to be smart enough not to install this. I don't know, hopefully that's true. But anyway, don't install crap like that. The easiest way to get rid of those ads by far is to install, or in this case enable, Adblock Plus, then go into filter preferences and add these three lists. Once you've done that, you can reload your page. Go back to my search here, and you immediately see not only did the page load faster, these are gone. Pretty easy to do, and I would recommend for everybody that wants a little bit cleaner browsing experience to enable Adblock, add those filter preferences, and enjoy the web a little bit more. Now as far as privacy goes, which is the whole reason I'm making this video, you do have to do a little bit more than that. And these two apps in particular, these two right here, not so much this one, are going to do a lot to help control your privacy and control what information you allow certain websites to have. Now I'm going to go back in here and show you what they were. Ghostery and NoScript. Then user agent switcher is kind of a one I'm just going to use to help through these examples, to help show you some more specific information. Not something necessarily related to privacy. Anyway, NoScript and Ghostery. Ghostery, what it does is you can read it right here, identifies and allows you to block third-party cookies that track you throughout the web. You're just going to go in to the preferences there, just go ahead and select all for both the cookies and trackers, and then that's all there is to it. NoScript, it comes with a bunch of default settings. Because it's a more advanced application, it gives you a bunch of things default that allow it to work, but I'll show you what I mean here. Now I'm actually going to start with the negative side of NoScript and visit a page that should be trustworthy, CNN.com. And you're going to see one of the more annoying things about CNN.com with NoScript enabled. And that is all these nice Flash programs don't load. And that is exactly what NoScript is doing, is it's stopping all this embedded software from running. And that's what you want. Now on a website like CNN, obviously it's probably okay to let all of it go, but as you browse through the grayer areas of the web, you know, the Pirate Bay, if you go there, or you know, other websites that are maybe not so, you know, legitimate, however you want to word it, it's definitely good to have something like this so you don't just accidentally go to a page or whatever the case is and have all these random applets running in the background that you really don't know what they're doing. So we're going to allow CNN.com. It's still not quite going to work because you do have to go in and allow one more. This is Turner.com. Now this example was fairly easy to get everything set up and going. And what I did is I actually temporarily allowed these, and you can permanently allow them if you want. If the CNN is, in this example, CNN is something you come to a lot, you can permanently allow them, so you only have to do this once. and from then on you won't have to worry about it again, because it is an inconvenience, but it's in the name of security, and I think it's well worth it. So now that CNN's good to go, we'll forget about that. I'm going to go to this website here. And this website is specifically, it's kind of an example of how you can be tracked just using your browser, how your computer can be tracked just using your browser's fingerprint. And there's plenty of information here that I recommend. If you're interested, you just come to this website. Up here I'll put in a link in the description, and you can read it all day long about privacy, and it's not meant to make you paranoid or spread fear-mongering. However, I think there's a lot of truth to this, and it's something we should all be considering, taking control of our privacy again, because it's really gotten out of our hands, and it's in the hands of people that don't necessarily have our best interests at heart. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this example. So, what I have here is some information about my web browser. It tells you what operating system I'm using and what web browser I'm using. Not a big deal. This is information that is needed by websites, so it knows how to display certain websites for your specific browser. But in the big picture, if you take a step back, if you're using an operating system like Linux, although most of you aren't, if you are, it will significantly increase your likelihood of being picked out of a crowd, we'll say. And the crowd is the data, and your data is specific to you. The more unique that data is, the more easy they can recognize you as you go throughout the web. Now, there's a lot of that information is actually blocked by blocking Java. As you can see down here with no script, Java is blocked. So I'm going to temporarily allow this website. I'm going to go back to the home page and run the applet. I'm actually not even going to run the applet. I'm going to cancel it. But the damage is already done. So all this information is and can be used to specifically identify my browser as I visit websites. And maybe that's not a big deal, but as this information gets compiled, and it is being compiled, and let's say one day you visit Google, you're not logged into anything, and you just do a search for hemorrhoid cream, and the next day you use the same browser with all the same settings, which is very common, and you're not going to change those that often, and you're logged in this time of your Facebook account, and now you do a Google search for something else. It can now fingerprint that browser with your Facebook account, and so on and so forth, and slowly over time just build up this amount of information about you, your web habits, and for a company like Google or Yahoo or Facebook, their main goal is going to be to advertise something to you, and even that in itself I think is kind of annoying. Those types of services should be opt-in. In their current state, they're not. Every time you use any of these services, and who doesn't, you are accepting their privacy terms, and it's clearly stated in their privacy terms that they're going to use this information. It's not yours anymore. Once you visit their website, it's theirs, and they're going to use it how they want to. And okay, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. There is some convenience that comes from that. But like I said, as you move away from that area of the web to the grayer area of the web, that same information can be used maliciously to gather personally identifiable information about you. And again, in the same way that Google collects it, other web browsers can collect it and use it for a more malicious intent. So since my thesis of this little video is browse privately, we want to stop that. You don't need to give that information out. And when you do want to give that information out with this app, NoScript, you can give it out as you see fit to whatever website you want. So, like I said, it just puts the control back in your hands of what information you send out. Because I don't think a lot of people know they're sending out how much information they're sending out just by clicking on a link. So this last example is going to be the website whatsmyip.org. It gives you some basic information about your computer, all similar to the last website I was on. But this is going to take it a step further and show you exactly where you're located in the world. Now I'm actually using a VPN service that runs through Los Angeles, so that's why it shows Los Angeles there. I don't actually live there, but you can also see this information back to my Iceweasel web browser, and nothing. Normally a map would show up right here, but you have to enable Java. So this is a perfect example of, well, I didn't know I was going to have a map pop up here, and I don't want a map to pop up there, so I'm not going to run that script. So this, if I were to look right now, this isn't a very good example. Anyway, if I were to allow Java to this website, this little map's going to pop up with information about where I'm at. And actually, this I forgot to reset a setting, so you're going to see something I will explain very briefly here. So what I'm doing is I actually just scroll out very quickly, so I didn't show you exactly where I live. I do live in Hawaii, sorry. And so that's very interesting, right? My IP address identifies me in Los Angeles. It's very clear right here. My whois lookup says you are in Los Angeles, but somehow this applet still sees me in Hawaii. Not only does it see me in Hawaii, if I were to show you information, this actually is an exact location of my house, as accurate as GPS. And I'm not exactly sure how that data got aggregated, but right now it is in Google server. This is a Google service. This website put a call in through Google's service that tracks all this information, and when I opted in by clicking share, it pinpointed exactly where my house is. Now, like I said, it is an opt-in thing, so you don't have to click share, but the point is, if you were a trustworthy person, overly trustworthy person, and you allowed a website to do this just once, you know, that information's gone forever. They now can attach that to your fingerprinted browser and store it and share it, and, you know, game over. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. So that's an interesting example, and I'll show you how to fix that. It took me forever to figure this out, but it is very simple, relatively. About :config up there in the search bar. Tell them I'll be careful, I promise. And you're going to just type in geo, come down to geo.enabled, double click, and go to false. Then I'm going to reload the page, and you're going to see what's actually going to show Los Angeles. Now that's what we would expect. Now that geo.enabled feature is something, like I said, it took me a while to figure out exactly how to disable that feature. And how exactly they aggregate that data is a little unclear to me, but if you Google around, I'll try and put some links in the description. If you Google around, you will see that this data is actively sought out by not only Google, but more specifically advertisers. They want to know exactly where you are at all times. And that's a little bit paranoid, but you know, it's true. Look at your cell phones and the way they behave and tell me that's not true. So again, I'm going to end with my thesis, which is we want to control what data we allow to go out on the web, about our browser, about our location, and what information they are allowed to take from us. And with these three scripts, these three extensions, you will be almost in complete control of all of that information. So I highly recommend all three of them. If not all three, at least these two. You will, you know, visually speaking, you'll be very happy if you block all these ads and these third-party tracking cookies. It'll be a completely different web browsing experience for you. Alright, hopefully this helps somebody. If you guys have any additional information you want to share with me, it's greatly appreciated. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them a little bit better than I did in this video. So just let me know. Thanks for watching.